So the United States have yet again qualified for the World Cup. They're back since 2014, where they didn't even do that bad. They finished second in their group and then lost to Belgium in the knockout stage. They didn't participate in 2018 though, but I have to assume they just didn't want to play in Russia, because I mean, who loses to Trinidad and Tobago on accident? Like, that was the plan, right? Like, that was the plan, right? Right. But they're back. After just barely finishing above Costa Rica on goal difference, they claimed a spot in Qatar. And they have some good players on their team. Obviously, Pulisic is the first one that comes to mind. The winger has played fairly well for Chelsea lately, even though he hasn't seen that much time. For the States, he's been fine. Behind him are McKennie and Adams. They're both starting in the big leagues and do have the experience, which will be needed against teams like England, for example. The US also brought Reina from Dortmund and Brendan Aronson from Leeds. A potential rising star for the US could be Timothy Weah. He is extremely fast, and pairing him up with Pulisic up front could be deadly in Group B. Those two can very well profit off slower Welsh and Iranian defenders. Two center backs though, it's not great. Zimmerman and Aaron Long, they're both slow, not good on the ball, and their build-up play is close to impossible with these guys. However, Greg Belhater loves taking these guys over a potential Champions League defender like Mark McKenzie. Genk, the team McKenzie plays for, is at the top of the Belgium league right now with only having 15 goals conceded in 17 games. How is Aaron fucking Long starting over this guy? The States have another problem. Their coach, Greg Belhater, just doesn't have a consistent style of play. Every single game is different and there's no system there. Greg's style of play can be defined in one word. Joe, can you guess what that is?
I was going to put him, excuse me.
Right, yeah. I was thinking the same. Japan walked all over them and they somehow managed to draw 0-0 against Saudi Arabia in their last friendly before the World Cup. Also, calling up guys like Jordan Morris over Pepe should be considered a hate crime by now. At this point, just hire Bill Belichick. The group they're playing in isn't the easiest either. They'll face Wales, England, and Iran. England and Wales already seems like a very tough task for the Yanks. Getting a draw against either of them seems like a miracle. Iran is definitely beatable though. And if they somehow advance to the knockout stage, they'll probably meet the Netherlands there, and that seems impossible. But again, 1-0 is enough, and if they can create a system where they get a couple chances on goal every single game and defend for the rest of it, they could genuinely pull an upset. The US have never won a World Cup and likely will not this year, but I give them a 25% chance of making it to the group stage and a 3% chance to win the whole thing. It's going to be tough, but nothing is impossible.